Water on there. Hi. Hey. Hi. Hey. Fuck me in the asshole, dude. No, don't do it, Rick. Don't. See, that's when you talk as country and racial hate as you possibly can to make sure no one gets your backside. And that's when they do more and more Hitler type shit until they want to incinerate every motherfucker to prove they ain't gay. And then the devil grabs them by their asshole and, and the devil grabs them by the asshole and brings them down to hell. Fuck me, asshole, dude! Like, they're so desperate, they can't take it anymore. It's like, it's been so bad feeling, they have difficult in their like they're like two friends hanging out or something. There are two friends hanging out. I'm putting this light on. They've been hanging out all day. And he's pretending he's not gay, and they have a difficult time, and it's gotten worse and worse, and it's and he's losing, and he feels so bad, and he's oh dude, I can't take it anymore. Fuck me, an asshole, dude. Fuck me, an asshole, dude. You can't tell it. No. Boy, I'll kill you. He might say that. The neighbor who lives somewhere there, he wouldn't say that. He would say, what did he mean by that? I'll tell you. He didn't even hear it. It's in my brain. He can't hear it through the walls. Do you think the neighbors can hear you through the walls with every little sound you make? I hate that. I'd like to live on 1,000 acres where there'd be no neighbors and only my loved ones in the house who I feel really comfortable around. Only the loved ones in my house who I feel comfortable around, like who love me, like a woman who's in love with me, Danica, or whoever is going to be in love with me, Danica, maybe, and the kids, and then I just wouldn't want to have to think about anyone else and have enough privacy. But then if they were there, you don't even think about the neighbors. I wouldn't even think about the neighbors. Like if your loved ones are at home, who you feel comfortable and normal around. Anyway, so it feels like somebody's trying to get his ass the whole time, and and it feels like somebody keeps trying to get his ass everywhere he's going. His asshole, dude. And everywhere he goes, he felt like somebody was trying to get his asshole, dude. And then he got pissed off. He got really pissed off. What did he do? He got so pissed off at everybody. He said he took out. It was his name. What was his name? His last name, dude. What? He thought they were trying to get his asshole. You can see it when you're talking to him. He thought they were always trying to do something to his asshole. What did they What did they do? They, his last name was Fag. His last name was F-A-G-E, but it's pronounced Fag. His family history. And he thought they were always trying to get his asshole. And he went into the gay club and started shooting everyone. And he killed them all. That's a real true story. That's a real true story that happened. But his name wasn't Fag. His name was... I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to hurt the families of the people who got shot. And his real name was something homosexual, and he went crazy and went in a gay club and started shooting them. But I don't know where. I'm not going to say where it was. It's pretty sad. He went crazy. But some people, they're so homophobic and they try to hurt others. But no one's ever going to rape them. It's almost impossible that a man would actually rape them. You know, no one's actually going to rape them. No man's going to... Men are hardly ever raped. You know, it doesn't usually happen. So just who cares? Oh, it feels like you're having to poo or take a crap or fart or something on your own back. So who cares? No one's going to do anything. You could stick your butt out and do this in front of like 10 gay men in a gay club and they're not going to do anything to you. You could sue them for like, they wouldn't do anything. No one's ever going to do that almost ever. It's almost never going to happen. But that happens in real life sometimes. But the chances of you actually worrying about it without reason, like those homophobes who worry that's going to happen, the chances of it actually happening are almost never going to happen. It's nothing. There's zero chance, pretty close to zero, about 0% chance that anyone would ever actually do anything like that to them, you know? And it's not going to change the way you are and the way God created you. If you don't like being with men, you're not going to be like more prone to be with men or something. That's weird. You know, if you don't like it, if you see a man's penis and you're a man and you think, you know, that's gross and you change it. Like if you're looking on a site online where it has women or something and your entire life, every time you've seen those types of things where they're like women with less clothes, you like women and that's how you are and you don't like men and it's gross. Then what are you worried about? You know, you don't have to be against gays at a big political level. Who cares? You know, they're not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to change who you are unless you have a worry about your own sexuality. Hey. Fuck me an asshole, dude! Like some teenage kid who's gay or something and he has like a loose skin on his neck, kind of like, oh, and he has like, he's in his family and he's, maybe that was like how Alice Cooper got to be Alice Cooper. They kept thinking he was gay. There's another kid like him that was gay. And he was like, fuck this. I'm out of here. I'm going to go be cool and skinny. Real skinny. Real skinny and tall and be Alice Cooper. Yeah. I'm going to be... Tall. It was really funny. This guy disappeared. He was the really tall, skinny black basketball teenager. He was white, and he was a tall, skinny teenager, like 8 feet tall or something. And it looked like he was a paper person. He was like tall, and really tall. And he was like skinny. He was so skinny because he grew so fast. And he looked like no one had ever seen anyone that looked like him. He looked like one of those paper cards from Alice in Wonderland. this card people, but he was really tall. If you look up like the really tall basketball player who's a teenager, he's like really tall, and he was so skinny. He was like really skinny. He was so skinny. But I might have had a saggy neck. I might have a saggy neck now for all I know. Yeah, I don't know. Alice Cooper had a saggy neck, and he was the cool one. He was the one who was cool. But the tall, skinny basketball player as a teenager, we'd make, like my kids and I, they made fun of one of my sons for being short when because he was a little too young for his grade. So they made fun of him for being not tall enough when he was in kindergarten. And so we'd make jokes about people who are really tall sometimes. You go, tall, he's tall. And then the kid who grew, I found out how to make yourself tall. Let me fix my hair. I don't want it to look bad after I had a hood on. I'm going to fix it. Let me tell you how to grow tall. This is amazing. This is amazing. I know genetically how to make yourself as tall as you want to be. I found out the way to do it. And they can have this as a new surgery they offer. All you have to do, this is a real thing that they can do with genetic technology. They can make someone taller if they're worried about being too short, but they have to be careful about it. And all you do is you do something that, I don't see what's wrong. We're all going to get older and die. Like my eye looks older here. We're going to get older and die. Humans can't live that much longer. We're only going to live the most 120 years or something like that. The oldest people, if they really are, maybe 140, and they look like shit anyway. So there's only so much you can do. Probably live to be like 90 or something, or 100 the most. But you can make yourself grow tall. You can make yourself grow tall. Here's how you can get as tall as you want. Well, you have to find a doctor who knows how to implement it, but I know how to do it. I found out the way those people got so tall, I look like shit up close. I didn't like the way that looked, but we're going to get old. We can't make ourselves live too much longer than we already do. But I don't know. It's interesting because in the Bible times, we could live, human beings used to live to be 1,000. They used to live to be 1,000, Adam and Eve. And that's how they were created. And they were introduced to sin. But I think the incest through the generations that created humankind, which wasn't as bad of a sin back then, it was a little different. And it was still pretty bad. It must have been really bad because the devil had just introduced him to sin. So that was back when they lived 1,000 years old. And through the incest down the generations, now we only live, now it was bad. So they're supposed to have one family, and that was it. How God created them, a husband, wife, and their kids. But or I don't know exactly how He created, but the sin caused them to do incest. But I know that He created Adam and Eve to be married and have kids, to be fruitful and multiply. I don't know if He wanted those kids to have kids or not, but I think that He didn't want their kids to have kids because then it would have been incest and weird and bad. And so, but the incest made them live less long. They would have lived forever in Eden, but the devil introduced them to sin, so then they only lived 1,000 years or 900 years and they died. So the first generation of Adam and Eve lived 1,000 years, and then the second generation down, their kids who did incest, they kept living less and less long. So now it went down to like Abraham, David, Jesus, Joseph and Mary, and then Jesus, and our generations, and now we only live to be like 100 years old. But I think with genetic technology, maybe we can make ourselves live a little longer, but God has us where, I think that's wrong. I think God has us where He wants us right now to live at this age now. But here's a cool way that I found that you can get as tall as you want with the right genetic technology. And all it is there's a pituitary gland. There's a pituitary gland in your head. And if you can find a way that they can inject a liquid that stays there for a short time and slowly dissolves, as it's pressing on the pituitary gland, it causes people to grow taller. As it presses on the pituitary gland, that's what causes those really tall people, like the tallest people on earth and stuff like that. They had a tumor, a small tumor that pressed on their pituitary gland, and that's what caused them to grow tall. So they could either inject some kind of a fluid that is like that will dissolve in time, that presses on the pituitary gland, or they can do a surgery and implant a small thing that presses on the pituitary gland in the right way that it causes them to grow tall, and then they take the implant out before they grow too tall, because it could kill them if they keep growing too tall. And that's how you grow taller. So if there's some way that like genetic research people and people who can implement that, then, and if you have enough money and you can raise the funds for it, like you could start a GoFundMe page or one of those funding pages and find a doctor or people who do genetic research, or somebody like the people who did the vaccine for COVID-19. You could write to them. You could write to the people who did the Pfizer vaccine or something, who you like, the ones that you get along with better. Or you could write to, I'd be a little afraid of Johnson & Johnson, but I think they're okay too, because they used to test on animals, and I didn't like how they tested on animals, but they're okay. And you know, they came out with a good vaccine for COVID-19 that worked. I would write to Pfizer. I like the Pfizer people. And you write to people like that and say, this is how you do it. You do you know, they press on a pituitary gland, it makes them grow stronger. And that's how they do it. But they, you know, you'd have to get the money to do the research and get willing volunteers who sign paperwork, and they're like, they don't care what happens to them, if it hurts them or not, to implant the thing that presses on the pituitary gland that makes them grow really tall. So that's how you make, because all those people historically, most of them who grew very tall, the tallest people on earth, had a tumor that pressed on their pituitary gland. That's almost all of them had that. So the way to grow taller is by implanting something that presses on their pituitary gland to make them grow taller. But you have to take it out before they grow too tall, because it starts hurting their body and stuff. And it may, like when they're implanting it into their head, you don't want to hurt other parts of their brain to get to it. So maybe another way to do it is by injecting, like with a surgery, to inject a needle of some kind of liquid that stays there for a time and then slowly dissolves. It stays right there pressing on the pituitary gland, wherever the pituitary gland is. So I haven't researched it that much, but I found that if somebody wanted to grow taller, they could probably grow taller. You know, if it was that much of a problem for them, if somebody had a bunch of money and they made a bunch of money, somebody like Napoleon of nowadays, he could find a way to make that surgery and, you know, make it a real thing that they can make people taller, and then he could make tons of money, maybe billions of dollars. They could people finally wouldn't have to be short if they could afford it. But I don't know. I may know. I'm not a scientist, so I may not even know what I'm talking about. But I think that's something that they could do. You know, I'm just a regular lay person. I don't have too much understanding of medical stuff. But I have a really good English vocabulary, and I can like read the medicine names with the prefixes and suffixes and stuff. I get it really. I can, you know, I kind of know how to talk about what the stuff is. And I've been to 9 colleges and universities. I've been to Virginia Tech, which is a hard school to get into. I got in there when I was 19. I was at Virginia Tech. I had already been to Virginia Western Community College to get my grades up, and then I went to Radford because I had a D average in high school. In my senior year of high school, I barely made it out of there. I had a D average, but before that, I had like B's and C's, B's, and so if somebody really knew a bunch about that stuff, then they could probably make people taller. But why? But God created them. God created them short, or whatever height they're at, so they'd be that way for a reason. So somebody like Wee Man was like one of the coolest ones. He was like Wee Man, the guy in Jackass. But like when they did the Jackass movies, he was so cool, and he's cool now. And I think he's okay. He's not really tall, but he was just as cool, or just as good of a human being. And that's what's really important, how good and kind they are. It doesn't matter how tall you are. But if they wanted to do something fun, like try to live longer, I don't see how that's that bad to do. Because think about, like, even shaving a man shaving a face, a woman shaving her legs. That's not how God created us. God did not create us back then to shave our face. A man had to just be how he was, created by God. So if all of us are shaving our face, and people are doing things to change the way their eyebrows look, their hair color, stuff like that, then how is it any worse to try to find genetic technology to look younger and live longer? I don't see how it's any of that. I don't see how it's that bad. I don't see how it would hurt anyone, how anyone would want to hurt you for it. It's kindness and good and wanting to live longer. However, that's not the real reason to be alive. But who cares? Wouldn't it be cool to live longer and look younger? I don't think it's that bad of a thing. But we're getting older. It kind of sucks. We're gonna get older. If you're not older now, if you're not older looking yet, we're gonna get older. Probably, unless we just die one day. But that's up to God. That's up to God. So I turned that light bulb. That's the work you did. You put a light bulb in. That was it, and then you left. And then you didn't die. Yo. Hi. I think I look better with a hood on. Hi, somebody wrote. Yo, Corey. Remember Corey when we used to, I'd talk about like we'd live to be 155 years old or something like that. And we thought we could, it was like back, it was like, that was a little crazy, but that was fun. It was just a little crazy. We partied a little bit for like two or 3 months and played music, and Corey had a job and I didn't. I just kind of stayed in really good shape and did whatever I felt like. It was okay. I had worked on the home to get it looking nice with my with some people who did the house, but my dad bought the house, and then he took all the responsibility for the stuff back then. And then I just hung out in the house for like 2 or 3 months and then had to leave. It was crazy. I feel so bad about it. It's kind of cold. Sucks. Having to think about how to heat the house. Like right now, it was affecting my health to be in this cold. And I had to take a little more time to think about what temperature to put it at. So I'm going to try to go upstairs. Hi. Hey. Hi. Hey. I got the house in showing condition. Like, there's like nothing really in the entire house that's out of place that much. It's in showing condition. There's me and my dad. That's me. That's me. That's him with some little house that he bought, or a house that's one of the real estate house places that he was working on, or something, or a shit. I don't know what it was. And then there's me with a skateboard and a really punk rock scary shirt, and the shorts are just regular, whatever that is, OP or something. There's me. I never did drugs. I never partied. I never drank alcohol. I listened to music and dressed different. I'm gonna go upstairs. It got a little cold. I'm leaving the lights on because I just gotta go upstairs. One time I was outside and it was really cold, and I went inside because I hurt my hand, and I put it under cold water after it was cold outside. And I got the feeling like Al was like, "Your cold dead hand," or something, like from some movie. He got angry because I was like mean to him about his hand looking old or something. and then like that's why eventually it was like, I just didn't want him to stay here. But he might come back. I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna wipe the screen off. I'm gonna wipe off the screen. I'm gonna wipe the screen off. Wipe the screen off. Like, I have to keep it vacuumed and in showing condition. Like this has to be in showing condition. There's no dust anywhere. It's like even back here, I think. There's no, it's like I've had to keep it in showing condition. The floor's vacuumed. This place did not look as good condition as this when I bought it. So all I have to do is when I show the house, but it's not been easy. It's not been easy, the work I had to do to the home. It was about four small about 4 2-bedroom homes. The work of 4 2-bedroom homes. And now it's not even worth as much as I thought. It's worth less than I thought, but I think I'm going to sell it really fast. There's no house like this on earth. There's no it's an earthly place. It's on earth, so it's it's not going to be that much better than some other place. It started getting pretty out, but now it's nighttime. It's almost dusk. It started getting pretty, but it's like a little darker. It's almost dusk. Hi. Hey. Peep-pong. I don't know that baboon. He was a blue baboon, and he was in these strange trees, and that he was white too, and he was one of those avatar creatures. He was. And that's what some of them talk like that, some of them talk like this, and they were the avatar creatures. They're the avatar creatures of the woods, and that's what ain't here, but it could be. And I don't care if it is or not. It's pretty good in America how it is now. But if it turned into the Avatar United States, that would, and we were the people who looked young and lived longer, and even if we looked a little bit like the blue people, well, that would be weird. But if we were younger looking and lived to be 200 years old or something, or who cares, just live to be 90 years old, and it was like the Avatar United States, that would be kind of cool. But I don't care. I don't care because it's already good like it is now. It's pretty good in America. It's probably the best country to live in, but I don't know. There are other countries that may be better. I don't know. I like it here the best. It's really good. It's peaceful. Get me inside. Get me inside. Me and my achy breaky heart. Shit. No, 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 no. No. Hi. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. Wow, it'd be amazing. You get to see God's face. He looks like us. Supposedly, we're created in his image and likeness. It's not a movie paperwork that uses the same writing. It's not a doctor at his office unless that's God's work, and the movie's God's work. We're created in his image and likeness. I'm gonna go. I don't want to show the house. I'm not gonna show anything else. I'm getting out of here. Okay. Praise God. Praise Jesus. I'm gonna go. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Okay. Bye.